With a look at the stock market now, I'm joined by Jason Trennert, managing partner at Strategas. Good to see you, Jason.
Good to see you.
We were talking, it's been a couple of years, it is nice to see you. Fascinating time this quarter for the markets. We have the Fed meeting, which is almost taking a backseat to the election.
Right.
Will the stock market predict a winner for us, do you think?
I think in this election, I'm not so sure, to be honest, because it's a broken, as we say they say in football, it's a broken play. No one knows. I think as it stands today, early in the week, right after the second debate, it looks like it's Mrs. Clinton's to lose. We still are largely of the view that the Congress will stay, both Senate and House will stay in Republican hands. But I also think the populism is a global theme, and I think that you've seen a lot of politically unexpected things happen. So I don't want to plant my feet too much, because the Lord only knows, how the next couple of weeks will go.
Exactly. Do you think that we will see a relief rally once the election is over? We typically do.
I think we will, and I think that's largely because the new president, whoever that will be, will have some political capital, and will seek to use it. And arguably, they have the most political capital they'll ever have, really, the day they step into office. I think there's a general acknowledgement that we've seen as much as you can see from monetary policy. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a renewed focus on fiscal policy to get the economy moving a little bit more quickly. So I have a feeling there'll be some optimism surrounding that, almost regardless of the way it looks. If Mrs. Clinton were to win, I think it would be more traditional kind of tax and spend type approach, demand side approach. If Mr. Trump were to win, it might be more tax cut and spend, which might be somewhat more inflationary. But generally speaking, I think there is going to be a big fiscal stimulus that you're going to see over the next couple of years.
So are the markets poised? This bull market is old, but we've also never gone through this kind of monetary policy. Are we setting ourselves up for a pretty good time in the markets on the backs of whatever happens politically? In theory, earnings growth should be improving in the next couple of quarters.
It should be. The hard part is that the business, and not only is the bull market old, the business cycle is quite old too. And the problem with the growth at 2% real is that it's pretty unstable. Usually in the U.S., real GDP growth doesn't stay at 2% for very long. It either gets weaker or gets quite a bit stronger. The problem now is that wage pressure is picking up. And so I think the fiscal stimulus is really coming just in time to try to extend the business cycle. If you don't the problem with fiscal stimulus, it can take a long time to get passed. And therefore, I think, you might have a couple of quarters of better earnings news. But I think when you're going into 2000, I know it seems crazy to talk about 2018, you're going to need something else, it seems to me, to sustain the bull market and sustain the recovery.
Any particular groups you see leading the market higher at this point?
Well, I think, technology in many ways, I think, especially large cap tech, it has in some ways the best of both worlds. It has defensive characteristics because of the strength of its balance sheets. It also, there is a growth element to it, so we like that sector quite a bit. We also starting to like financials quite a bit because we think that the yield curve is going to steepen and long-term interest rates are going to back up quicker than the Fed raises them. I think industrials, if you want to play the new fiscal stimulus, industrials is another place to look at. Infrastructure spending, defense spending seem to be kind of clear winners. The stocks have moved quite a bit already, but they're still, in comparison to the rest of the market, not particularly expensive. So those are the places that we like the most.
Okay, Jason, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we should point out that Jason will be joining a panel of guests, including the Street's founder, Jim Cramer, for a discussion on October 26th about the election in Wall Street. That event, sponsored by the Market Technicians Association Educational Foundation, will be held at the Yale Club. For more information, you can go to www.mtaef.org. I'm Rhonda Schaffler for The Street.